All right, dear students, thank you for joining us for today's webinar. Of course, we're waiting for a few students to join us. So please give us a few minutes and we will be getting in touch with you shortly and get this webinar started. Dear students, thank you for joining in for our live webinar today. Of course, it is Earth Day, and what an apt time for our Faculty of Sustainable Studies to join us for today's amazing webinar. Please give us a few minutes. We are waiting for a few more students like you to join us in this interaction. So hang in there and we will be getting started on this webinar very shortly. Thank you. My dear students, thanks once again for your patience and for your presence today in today's webinar. I do want to let you know that we have a crucial topic that we are discussing today. And if you have any questions on the topic for today, go ahead and start asking your questions in our Q&A section that we have. That's right, we have a exclusive Q&A section for you where you can type out your questions, and we have an esteemed team of panelist members who are here today from the Faculty of Sustainable Studies who are going to do their best to answer all your queries. So go right on and start asking your questions in the Q&A section. I request all of you to avoid the chat button that we have that is only for technical issues. So please limit your questions to the Q&A section. All right, dear students, let's get started on today's live webinar on a very apt topic for Earth Day today. Our future on Earth is based on scalable pro-climate choices, how to participate and make a career in it. I'm sure, dear students, all of us have wondered, especially during this time of the COVID-19 pandemic, it has made us all reflect on what is it and how is it that we are not being supportive of Mother Nature or giving her the space to grow. And how can all of us inculcate pro-earth and pro-climate choices, whether it is in our academic careers or whether it is just daily things that we can do to support such sustainable choices. Well, we have very esteemed faculty members from the Faculty of Sustainable Studies joining us today in this webinar, and they are going to tell you in detail all about the academic programs that we have in this field, as well as talk to you about today's topic. I also want to take this time to let you know that we are open to taking admissions for these programs today. So please log into admissions.mitwpu.edu.in and explore the plethora of choices that we have, that we are offering under this Faculty of Sustainable Studies. See what interests you and make your best pick, and do send in your admissions applications to us. Surely these are uncertain times, and with the COVID-19 pandemic and as well as the lockdown of our nation, I'm sure all of you are overwhelmed as to how you are to go about the admissions process. On behalf of MIT World Peace University, I would like to inform you that we are working relentlessly to make sure that the entire admissions process is completely streamlined so that each and every student who is interested in this program can go ahead and apply and be eligible for our program today. All right. So on that note, let me hand this presentation over now to Dr. Aparna Vatve, who will now tell us more about the programs and the career choices that are there with this faculty. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Suchirupa, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today and being patient enough. A very warm welcome on behalf of the Faculty of Sustainability Studies. I'm Dr. Aparna Vatve. I'm head of the School of Ecology and Environmental Management. And with me are all the faculty members of this faculty, and they will also be happy to answer all your questions. Uh, we are happy to have you all at this webinar by the MIT World Peace University. This university, as you know, was established about 4 decades ago, and it has been nurturing young minds. So we have trained students to take up careers in various sectors. MIT promotes value-based education, universal education to nurture the culture of peace. We have organized this special webinar today on the occasion of a very important day. It is the Earth Day 2020. This year the theme is climate action. It is a call for action for all of us to step up our efforts to stop global warming, to deal with climate change. This day is globally celebrated. It is like a reminder to all of us, to respect our only home, which is Earth. It is our true home. Uh, we have to learn how to live on this Earth without harming it in any manner. For several years now, we have started seeing terrible effects of climate change. We have seen droughts, floods, cyclones constantly. All these have become really common, and natural resources have depleted. And at the end of it, it is the people who are suffering, and many are just barely able to survive. Right now, we are witnessing a pandemic which has never been imagined before, and the entire world has kind of come to a standstill. So it's like somebody has, pressed a pause button, and it is probably the mother nature which is telling us that, enough is enough. Just correct it at this very moment. And this is what we mean when we mean sustainable development globally. Uh, there have been sustainable development goals which have been agreed upon by all the countries in this world. But for that, to act, to think globally, we have to also act locally. Faculty of Sustainability Studies has been created as a response to this urgent need. Through our teaching programs, we will be training students to be professionals in sustainable development. I will be talking about MSc Ecology, Society and Sustainable Development Program. It is a transdisciplinary program, and it addresses the Sustainable Development Goal number 13, which is of climate action, and the goals 14 and 15, which are about conservation of ecology and biodiversity. Our faculty totally has 5 schools. They all have 6 MSc programs and 1 BA program. We also have a PhD program. I request all of you to take a look at our website and go through the material which has been put up, and that has all the details of how the programs are and what is the content of each program. I will now just briefly describe the MSc program on Ecology, Society and Sustainable Development. It's quite possible that those of you who have joined us today are interested in nature, have been traveling in nature, or interested in wildlife and biodiversity. We all would like to conserve it, right? But for that, to conserve, we need the society to act, and we need to motivate the society to act towards conservation. So in this course, we explore how society thinks about nature, how society interacts with nature in various ways. So if you have questions like how to stop human-wildlife conflict, how to motivate people for conservation, these are the kind of questions for which we will have answers in this course. We also have seen that over the years, industry and business have had a great impact on the nature. In this course, we will look at how we can make that impact positive, how they can contribute towards conserving the nature rather than having a negative effect or harming it. In this curriculum, we also have skill development courses. There are for development of practical skills such as data analysis, GIS and remote sensing. And also we have courses on development planning at regional and local level. So together, they are meant to give equal importance to ecological studies and to also the social science studies. We have a great component of field work, which gives you practical experience in the field. It is our aim to train students as development and conservation professionals. So after this course, you can take up careers in sustainable development. There are now a lot of opportunities which are opening up in the field of sustainable development. Just last year, India launched National Biodiversity Mission. This mission is specifically to conserve biodiversity through people's action. So there are many opportunities coming up in government departments for a professional who understands both ecology and society. Same way, industry and businesses are also participating in sustainable development. There are career opportunities in green infrastructure, in green buildings, in making policies about how we can have sustainable development. And also, there is a newly developing sector of renewable energy, which is so important to all of us to stop global warming. Many new products based on biodiversity are being launched, they are being promoted. So corporates have also to conduct environmental impact assessments or green auditing. These are all the places where our students will be trained to take up careers. Apart from this, the biggest of important institutions in this sector are wildlife organizations and social organizations which are working towards sustainable livelihoods. Organizations like Wildlife Conservation Trust, Wildlife Conservation Society, Bombay Natural History Society, they have always started working on sustainable livelihoods now. And we will be able to train students to take up careers in that sector. So over the past years, we have developed very strong relations with various institutions in this sector. And I'm quite sure that our students will find good opportunities in these. Let me tell you a little bit about the application process now. You can also find it on the website. All candidates who have completed bachelor's degree from any discipline, whether humanities or basic sciences, any discipline, they are eligible to apply. Candidates who have had some experience of working in the environmental sector or in the social sector or in the corporate sector um, in various programs or missions, they definitely have an advantage. And I would really encourage all of you to write about it when you are applying. Those having interest in these sectors definitely will be screened. The minimum of 40% aggregate marks is at the graduate level is our baseline. Uh, we also have a selection procedure and a statement of purpose. You can submit it at the time of application. Application forms, again, as I was telling you, are available on the faculty page. Do take a look at them. That is all for present. Thank you once again for joining this webinar. We have another webinar following this, where we have Honorable Minister for Environment, Shri Prakash Javadekar sir, who will be discussing climate change. So I hope you can join in that as well. In the meanwhile, please visit our website and we will be happy to help you with any questions or doubt right now. We have all the panelists here. So please feel free to ask any questions, write down any questions, and we can definitely answer them either in live or in written. Over to you, Suchirupa. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that great detailed presentation from your faculty. Dear students, welcome once again. I know a lot of you are still joining in, and this is a great opportunity right now for me to quickly tell you that we are, of course, currently accepting admissions into all the programs that we have under our Sustainable Studies program. So guys, go on to admissions.mitwpu.edu.in, and I know a lot of students must be feeling very overwhelmed at this time. Of course, we are in uncertain times with the COVID-19 pandemic as well as the lockdown of our country. So on behalf of MIT World Peace University, dear students, I do want to let you know that we are working relentlessly to make sure that the entire admissions process is absolutely streamlined so that we can help each and every student um, make their applications and have their admissions applications sent to us. And on that note, I also want to let you know that the earlier you send in your admissions applications to our program, the better it gives us the opportunity to get in touch with you and tell you and guide you as to the rest of the selection process. So dear students, please go ahead and explore explore the plethora of programs that we have under the Faculty of Sustainable Studies. And please make your choice and pursue your interests. And we'll be happy to guide you further on the same. All right, now we move on to our next presentation, which will be delivered by Dr. Nupur.
Thank you, Suchirupa, and good afternoon all. I am Nupur Kulkarni, part of School of Sustainable Development at Faculty of Sustainability Studies. Thanks for joining us on Earth Day 2020. There's only one home, that's Earth, and the natural resources are limited while human needs are constantly growing. This is where the principle of sustainability becomes important. Next slide, please. Next. The doctrine of sustainable development has most commonly defined as development that meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. It is a path to human progress that has capacity to continue in long run without harming the harmony between humans and nature. Next slide. Sustainable development allows bringing a balance between economical, environmental, and social needs of human societies and ensures well-being of generations to come. I would like to put it in simple words for you all. It simply means practicing activities that don't harm environment and that don't harm or damage ecosystems that we live in and we are very much dependent upon. As you all know, a large number of population dwells in rural parts, forest areas. The impact of climate change is felt by these societies drastically as they are highly dependent on social ecological systems around them and they dwell in it. These populations have traditionally lived with nature in harmony. The conservation practices are embedded in their cultural practices. Around the world, it is scientifically established that the forest areas where you find indigenous communities are very well conserved and preserved. Their cohesiveness with nature may provide a simple yet essential scalable pro-climate choices to reduce the efforts of climate change. We at FSS have 5 schools offering various programs in sustainability studies. The school has experienced expert faculty from the field of sciences and humanities. The courses offered there are two holistic courses that are offered at School of Sustainable Development, that are Sustainable Inclusive Development and Sustainable Rural Development. Both are MSc courses. Next slide. We feel it's time to create more and more flag bearers of sustainable development. We need to collaborate with a lot of stakeholders to meet our development needs while we mitigate the impact of climate change. There are a lot of opportunities that are opening in the field of sustainable development nowadays. To do your bit towards sustainable development, you can engage yourself as a development consultant for rural or urban development, or become a social entrepreneur or researcher or policymaker or an activist. These are the areas our students will be making impact in after completing the course at our school. Next slide. The school aims at creating the cadre of development professionals who have first-hand experience of social realities and knowledge to continue and knowledge to contribute and provide alternatives to existing practices of sustainable development and management. Next slide, please. Next. Let me tell you a bit about how to apply at our courses. Candidates with bachelor's degree with minimum of 40% and are very much enthusiastic about human development and sustainable issues can apply for this course. Those with experience in social development sector will have definitely an advantage when you're applying. So I'm positively looking forward to see you at Faculty of Sustainability Studies at MIT WPU. For the more details of the program, you can visit our website given over here and feel free to get in touch with us. We will be happily answering your question. That's all for now. Thank you once again for joining in today. Back to you, Suchirupa.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that short but very detailed presentation on all the programs that are offered at MIT World Peace University. Dear students, stay tuned because our exciting question and answer round, we are just going to get started on that right away. So all of you students, I'm sure you're buzzing with a lot of questions. I can already see quite a few questions that all of you are asking. So please go ahead and ask your questions so that we can answer your questions. And we have esteemed faculty members here today with us who are specifically here to cater to all your queries. Of course, another gentle reminder, dear students, we are currently accepting admissions applications to all the programs that we will mention today. So please log into admissions.mitwpu.edu.in and select the program of your choice and send in your admissions applications to us. I do want to assure all of you that we are working relentlessly to make sure that the entire admissions process is streamlined so that in this situation of uncertain times, we can help each and every student who is trying to apply and get admitted into these programs has our complete support. We may even decide to take the entire admissions process online, and we will inform you on those updated policies in just a few days on our website. But before that, you can take the first step and send in your admissions applications to us at admissions.mitwpu.edu.in so that we can get in touch with you and support you through this entire process. All right, students, I can see that there are lots and lots of questions that we are getting. To all of you, continue asking your questions. Please explore your options while we still have the faculty here with us, and go on and ask any questions that you may have about our topic today.
Suchirupa, there was a question which was asked about the various tie-ups that we have. Should I answer it?
Ma'am, we will be jumping on. Thank you so much for mentioning that. We will be jumping on to the live Q&A segment right now. Speakers, especially Nupur ma'am, if you could come on audio and also on video. I'm sure a lot of students are curious to see our faculty today.
Yeah, I'm online now.
Thank
the
you
video
so much.
is on.
Yes.
Yes.
And Neeta ma'am, if you feel at some point you'd also like to join us on audio and video, I welcome you to do the same. All right, now we are jumping on to our live Q&A segment, and we have a student asking us, Madam, I am in my last semester of doing MSc Mathematics. Can I apply for the MSc in Data Science?
This is Neeta. I'll answer that. I'm looking after admissions here. So to be clear, today we are actually focusing on our postgraduate programs in the School of Sustainability Studies. So our MSc in data science is not something we would have talked about. We will definitely get a call arranged for you to talk about in detail. But from the basic information that you've given on your query, it does look like you're eligible. In the general category, it is about 50% average. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Neeta ma'am, for that. All right, our next question is from Yogesh Patil, and he asks us, my final exams are not completed yet, so can I apply now for PG in MS in CS? And what is the criteria?
I think that will be me again. This is Neeta again. So the criteria is pretty much the same. 50% average is required in the open category across all your courses. And yes, even if you haven't given your exams or you haven't had your results yet, you can apply right away. And that will help in the sense that we can prorate the semester-wise course, and from that we can, pretty much have a good estimate of what your eventual score would be. And based on that, provisional admission can be given. That's a rule across the university, really. So for any course you want to apply, and you're in your last semester, just about finishing it or awaiting your result, especially given the current situation, awaiting results is something a little common at the moment. You can apply. Please go to admissions.mitwpo.edu.in. You will be able to get all the course links over there to apply, and you can apply, like, I think it's a CS program that you're looking for, right? Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Neeta ma'am. All right, dear students, another gentle reminder, we are in our live Q&A segment, and please shoot in your questions to us. I can see that lots of students are buzzing with excitement and they have lots of questions. So dear students, go ahead and type in your questions. This is the time for you to find out more about all the career opportunities that we have under the Sustainable Studies program. So go ahead, and esteemed faculty members will be so happy to answer your queries. All right, our next question is definitely for Aparna ma'am, and I think Nupur ma'am can also shine some light on it. The question is, these fields need a field exposure as well. Can you please help me know about the past experience that have been there under this program?
Yes, so I would like to answer that to start with, and I hope Nupur can join after this. We have completed 1 year of this course. One batch has been completed. And yes, field experience is very important. And we make sure that the students get good exposure. They can go to the rural areas. So we actually have a 3 days rural immersion, which is a compulsory thing for everybody. In addition to that, we encourage students through internships or through our practical work experience to take up different kinds of practical, visits to different areas, or work with companies or work with organizations. And between all of us as faculty, we have very large experience of working in government sectors, in corporate sectors, as well as the social work, the NGO sector. So we have a lot of even personal relations with these people. In addition to that, MIT has a very good team which takes care of engagement in different institutions. So they also help with getting internships and getting different kinds of exposures. I think that will answer the question. Maybe Nupur, you can also join in.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I would like to just add these two courses under Sustainability Development School. This will be the first year, but we're definitely going to ensure that the students are going to have a good experience and exposure to the field. There are ethnographic fieldworks as a part of their syllabus, and they will be definitely engaging into internship where they will get hands-on experience of working with non-governmental organization, government bodies, as well as social entrepreneurs. So this will definitely expose them to a lot of ground realities. That will be the important and crucial part of their syllabus. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Our next question, is there any entrance exam for the PG courses that you're offering? I believe Aparna ma'am and Nupur ma'am, both of you can take that.
For these programs, we do not have a specific entrance exam as such, but we do encourage you to give us a statement of purpose. So in the statement of purpose, you can write about what is your motivation in joining this course, what you would like to learn specifically in this, and exactly what has been your past experience, what is your background. So then after that, we can have a discussion kind of interview, but there is no formal entrance exam as such.
Okay, great. Students, you heard the good news there. I'm sure a lot of students are relieved to find out that in fact there is no entrance exam. Statement of purpose is what the faculty is looking for. So really, if you have passion and if you have a strong interest in this program, dear students, You know what to do. Get into admissions.mitwpu.edu.in. Send in your applications to us. You know already there is no entrance exam, but go ahead through the admissions process, and certainly we are here to support you with that. Okay, so our next question for the day. I have applied for the MSc CS program. What is the date of entrance exam for the same?
This is Neeta. CS is something that we're not covering today, but at the same time, the exam is currently scheduled for May end. But as you know, the situation in the country, because of that, depending on what the government officials and the education officials, etc., decide, the date can change. You know, so we will of course let you know. Please go to admissions.mitwpu.edu.in. You can apply now. But if there are any date changes, we will of course keep you informed.
All right, thank you so much, Neeta ma'am. Dear students, another gentle reminder, please keep your questions relevant to the programs that we are discussing today. As you all know, there are a plethora of career choices to be made, especially in sustainable studies. Whether you have dreams of a corporate sector job or you want to embark on being an entrepreneur who can make a difference in our society, we all know that the human race is moving towards more energy efficient choices, and therefore an academic degree in sustainable studies is absolutely the way to go, so that you can join all those value based careers that are out there for you. And I highly encourage you to consider this as an academic career. So go right ahead and continue asking us your questions, as I can see you are, and we will be happy to help you out with the answers. On that note, we have our next question, and our student is asking, what are the future opportunities that one can work in through this program? And do you have tie-ups with organizations where we can be of resource in terms of placements? I request Aparna ma'am and Nupur ma'am, both of you, to take this up.
So I have partly answered this question while answering the earlier one. Yes, we do have tie-ups. So you can take a look at the MIT website page. It shows what are the tie-ups as institution that we have. Apart from that, we have a working relationship with Tata Institute of Social Sciences, with the University of Amsterdam. So we have exchange in the faculty also. We also have working relationship with the government, corporate, as well as social sector organizations. So personally, I have been associated with the various Maharashtra State Biodiversity Board committees. I have been part of some of the centrally empowered committees of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So all these are relationships that we have cultivated, and I'm sure that students will also benefit from these experiences. In Pune and in all the areas, we have a lot of organizations that we have worked with. We have worked with Kalpavruksha in the past. They also join as guest faculties. Wildlife Conservation Trust, it's a very big organization working in the Wildlife Trust. We have faculties who have come from there and have been associated. So all these are tie-ups, and yes, the students will definitely find it to their advantage that we have so much of interactions with various institutions. And I'm quite sure that they will find many interesting things after the course is completed. Apart from this, as you know, that the group of Tatas and Godrejes are very committed towards conservation of biodiversity. They have organizations which have been working in this sector, and they are constantly looking for people who understand biodiversity, ecology, and also are interested in social development or are trained as development professionals. So this is a very unique combination where I think students who have passed this course will have an advantage. Anybody else? Maybe Nupur, you want to talk a bit about this?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. So I would like to just add a couple of things that myself have worked in the government as a consultant for a couple of years. So I would like to throw light upon this. And nowadays, a lot of state governments, including national governments, they're encouraging something called lateral entries, where a lot of internship and fellowship opportunities are available. Just to name few, I would like to mention here Gandhi Fellowship or Chief Minister's Rural Development Fellowship, Chief Minister's Fellowship, Maharashtra, and a couple of fellowships even available with Niti Aayog. So these are the fellowships that are available to youngsters who can work with the State Department, district bodies such as Collector's Office, uh, and other para-governmental organizations like MSRLM or ICDS. So these opportunities are available. Besides this, you can also look at international opportunities where you can be an intern or a fellow like UNDP or UNICEF or WHO. And lastly, I would also like to mention that one can always be an independent researcher or a social worker or engage yourself in some NGO work or become an entrepreneur. So there are definitely a lot of opportunities available for you once you finish such courses in sustainability development. Thank you.
I would
Thank
just
you
like
so
to
much.
add a bit
Yes.
to this now that the subject has come up. See, what are people looking for in this sector? They are looking for passion, they are looking for motivation for doing something better. And, climate change is just a test that we have to go ahead and take. So, we want somebody who, and we can definitely encourage people to have the passion. And with that, we will give the necessary training that balances the theory, concepts, as well as the skills and the practical experience which is required for this kind of job. So all of us have done almost 15, 20 years of jobs in various sectors because we trained ourselves to work in a transdisciplinary manner. And this course is a result of that. Over to you, Suchirupa.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think those are wise, wise words coming from both of you. Dear students, you heard that. I think there is no better option if this is your passion to solidify your foundation by entering into an MSc in the Sustainable Studies courses that are offered here at MIT World Peace University. Our program, and as the faculty members confirmed, you get full support with the placements and you are getting the opportunities to get in touch with the industry that is doing the latest and cutting edge work in this sector. As you know, we are all moving towards a more sustainable world, a more sustainable approach, and the whole corporate sector, as well as the government sector, as well as internationally, whether it's UNICEF and all those other global international bodies, sustainable studies and its importance can no longer be denied. And these are all very dynamic and very value based careers that are coming up today. And I do hope that you will pursue this degree so that you can open doors and avenues into these kinds of very interesting careers. I believe Neeta ma'am also wants to share a few thoughts.
I just want to add in today. Aparna ma'am has been talking. Her full name is Dr. Aparna Watwe. She is looking after the course completely for the School of Ecology, Society and Sustainable Development. I'd just like to mention that all the faculty here today who's answering your questions, they actually have a lot that they're carrying in terms of tie-ups and their experiences with various organizations, be it professional ones or NGOs or even as speakers, they've been in various places. So Dr. Parna Watwe herself has been awarded with the RISE Citizenship Award 2019 for her commendable work on citizenship, entrepreneurship, and partnerships for the SDG. And this was very recently at the RISE World Summit in 2020. And she's been doing a lot of work on research, for advocacy for social policy and legal support for conservation, some scientific research, citizens science programs, community-based conservation initiatives, so many more things. Actually, there's such a long list I can go on for an hour. Similarly, we have Dr. Pankaj Koparde also here, who's replying to questions. He's been a principal investigator at Bird's Nest Project. He's a young scientist awardee at the Maharashtra Vraksha Samvardhani. He's been a speaker at the lecture series towards an ecological landscape. We've also got Dr. Prasad Kulkarni here, who's answering questions. He's been a panelist to discuss opportunities and challenges for women entrepreneurs. This is at the Woman Hike Awards 2019. He's also called for various panelists, lectures, etc., all across. He's also the coordinator for the HCL Grant Pan India Symposium CSR for Nation Building for the Pune chapter. So that's brilliant. He's also been a jury member at the Women's Innovator Conclave 2020. So what I'm trying to say is the faculty here at the Faculty of Sustainability Studies actually comes from a varied background, comes with so much of different experience. And in the current world scenario with the COVID-19 challenge going on all across the world, with the kind of MSc topics that we have here, courses that we have here, now the world is actually getting to know how important some of our courses are. And more focus towards ecology, towards sustainable development is going to happen now. So students now getting into these kind of courses is becoming more and more visible in the market. It's becoming more pertinent in the market. And with the kind of faculty we have on board, you are in very good hands. That's what I would say as a person who's actually on the operational side of the university. Thank you, Suchit.
Thank you so much, Neeta ma'am. Dear students, absolutely. Our faculty is esteemed, and you heard all the accolades and the great reputation that they have been earning on behalf of our university in this field. So no better than these faculty members who are here today to guide you as to a career in this field. All right, few more questions. Ma'am, we have a student asking us, what is the eligibility criteria for this course?
Nupur, can you take that, please?
Yes, minimum criteria is the bachelor's degree in any discipline, and or 40% aggregated mark as 40% minimum. We encourage people who have experience in working with social development issues. That's prior experience is an advantage, but if it is not, you can still apply irrespective of having or not having an experience. So those are the basic two criteria for your basic two eligibility criteria. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. We have a question from Veena. Veena, usually I'd ask you to type your questions in the Q&A section, but I can see that you have a passion, so I'm taking it on for now, even though you've typed it in the chat section. But dear students, please keep it limited to the Q&A section. So Veena is telling us, I have a question. I have done my bachelor's in business studies in commerce. I'm very passionate about the field of conservation. Is there a way I can pursue my master's in conservation biology? Is there a bridging course that will allow me to join the program? And does MIT accept students from another faculty? If yes, what are the requirements? Thank you.
Thank you so much for asking this. I would like to answer this. Veena, I'm really happy to see that you are passionate in this, and just feel free to apply. We accept students from all disciplines. So that is the meaning, of transdisciplinary, that we are getting the best from all the disciplines, and we are, trying to have a holistic view in future. You can definitely apply. Our course, all the courses have a foundation, which is to basically bridge this gap. And the first trimester, we are trying to get everybody on the same page. And if you are from commerce, in fact, I'm quite sure that you will enjoy subjects like the environment and economics. There is one on, valuation of nature. I think you will find that you are much better at it than some of the others. And there are some others who will enjoy ecology courses. Somebody will have interest in political sciences. So we have all this. The idea is that we, do not have the walls between disciplines like we had in the past. because we need to understand the society, and society involves understanding economics, commerce, social science, anthropology, why people fight. We need to understand all that. So all this is one single discipline. And if we understand that as a single discipline, then we can move towards a better future. Because otherwise, we are just building walls between different people and different disciplines. That idea has just to be gone now in the future world. So I'm really happy that you brought this up, and please feel free to apply to any of these courses. And we are sure that we will be happy to have you.
Okay, great. Veena, I hope that answers your question. Certainly good news for you. I think a business combined with a sustainability studies master's program is a very, very great and attractive combination to have in as your academic degrees. And in that case, you also have the business sector where you can enter and make your value addition, since you're so passionate about sustainability and conservation. Okay, ma'am, can we also walk our students through the admissions process for all the programs? So I request you to list out all the programs that we are offering one more time, and then let's talk to them about the exact admission process that we have. Aparna ma'am, if I could have you take the lead on that, please.
Can you share that slide?
Ma'am, if you give me 1 minute, I'll just find that and open that slide. Give me 1 minute. I'm just going to stop the share for a minute.
Sure thing. All right, dear students, we are trying to get you the slide on screen so that you can see more detailed information regarding this. In the meantime, I do want to remind you that all these courses are listed on our website. So please go on to admissions.mitwpu.edu.in, and we will make sure that all the information is out there and you can select the program of your choice. You can in fact even go on and explore the plethora of degrees and programs that are available to you, and make the right choice as per your interest and passion, and send in your admission applications to us so that we can guide you further as to how we can take it ahead.
So can we get that slide, or should I share from my end? Yeah. Yes. So as you can see, we have a slide here now of all the schools and programs in that. The admission process is more or less same for all the courses, and bachelor's is separate, but we are today talking mainly about the MSc programs. So you need to have 40% minimum in your bachelor's, plus experience in this sector would definitely help, but that's not mandatory. We encourage everybody to apply. Uh, there is a need of statement of purpose. So you have to go online, fill the application form, and in that you have to answer all the details that are required. And along with that, you can send us a statement of purpose, which is describing what is actually your interest in this program, what has been briefly, what has been your background, what are your passions, what are your motivations, like Veena spoke about. MSc in Sustainable and Inclusive Development and Sustainable Rural Development are focusing on different aspects of sustainability. The MSc program in Compassion, Peace, Humanitarian Action and Disaster Risk Management is for training students into management of disasters and taking up action to build peace. It is one of our running programs. There is also Masters in Public Health program. You will find details of that on the website along with the other programs. It is for people who are interested in taking up public health issues. Agribusiness entrepreneurship is a program that we are introducing this time, a very, very prestigious program. Agribusiness is very important. It is growing need of the hour because we need to have sustainability in the food security sector. Apart from that, agriculture is our main business in India, and we need to, you know, go ahead in the modern age with the use of technology. And finally, I have talked about the MSc program in Ecology, Society and Sustainable Development. Again, admission process is exactly the same for all. Your mark sheet and other details in the online process, and the statement of purpose. That is what I would request all of you to try. Over to you, Suchirupa.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear students, you heard that coming straight from ma'am. All you need is to apply to the program and fill out the admissions application form and share with us the statement of purpose and of course your mark sheets. And that's good to go. There is no entrance exam. So it doesn't get easier than that, dear students. And of course, to showcase once again the different programs that we are offering at the master's level, as you can see, there are some very niche programs that we are offering here at MIT World Peace University. That's MSc in Sustainable and Inclusive Development, MSc in Sustainable Rural Development, MSc in Compassion, Peace, Humanitarian Action and Disaster Risk Management, MSc in Public Health, MSc in Agribusiness Entrepreneurship. And for all those of you who think that those few programs are very niche and you want a little more broader program, we of course have the MSc in Ecology, Society and Sustainable Development program. So dear students, you can see the plethora of choices that you have in terms of the choices you can make in your master's program. I'm sure all of you are overwhelmed already with these uncertain times that we have right now. And I do want to assure you that MIT World Peace University is working relentlessly to make sure that we streamline our admissions process to support every student who is out there. I do request you to send in your applications to us earlier than later. Let's not delay this simply because it allows us to get in touch with you personally and let you know of how the rest of the selection process is going to go. So therefore, I encourage all of you to get into admissions.mitwpu.edu.in and send in your admissions applications to us. Neeta ma'am, if we can now quickly go on to our last slide. Okay, couple of more questions, dear panelists. What is the last date for the PG applications? Aparna ma'am, if we could have you for that one. What is the last date for the PG applications?
So we had planned 2 rounds of application. The first date was to be the end of April, but now in the considering the situation, I think we will have to extend it a bit. So we have another round coming up in mid-May also. Please keep visiting our website because we will be uploading the details. Right now, the conditions are such that many of the colleges may not even have completed their graduation exams. So we are still waiting for views of the UGC and other faculties of how to deal with this situation. But let me assure you that we will make sure that all of you who want to get into this program have a chance to apply.
I'd just like to add that our applications are open at the moment, like Suchi had said earlier. And if you go onto our website, mitwpu.edu.in, there's an admissions section where you'll get details as well. Yes, there might be a delay. However, the earlier you apply, the more chances are of you getting through in the first merit list, right? So I would recommend maybe after this webinar, go to our website, look up the course in more detail. We've spoken, the faculty has spoken to you for a while. At the same time, go to our website and see more details. Thank you.
Great. All right. Another quick question. We have lots of queries continuously coming in. What will be the fees for these programs?
Yes, so the fees are total of 3 lakhs for 2 years of course. For 1 year, it is 1,50,000.
All right, okay. So like ma'am said, those are the fees, 1,50,000 plus, dear students, we also have a scholarship policy. You can find out more about the scholarship policy on our website. It is of course based on merit. Please check out our website and find out if you qualify for it. All right, we have another student asking us, due to this current situation, we were not able to appear for our exam. So how do we upload the mark sheets in the application process?
So I'll take this one on, Suchi. This is Neeta again. We understand the situation at the moment. The whole university understands this. So you might not have given all your exams. You might not be getting your mark sheets at the moment. However, you would have your mark sheets from your earlier semesters, etc. So depending on that, it's very easy for us to start looking at each profile. It's easy for us to understand or predict your score depending on your semester-wise scores of your earlier semesters, what your percentage could be at the time that you actually graduate. So a provisional marking is done, a provisional offer of admission may be given to you. So even if you haven't got your exams finished, even if you haven't got your marks yet, please go ahead and apply. We can work around that along with you. Really. Thank you.
Great, students. So you can see the amount of support that you have through this uncertain time. We will work around you if you were not able to appear for your exams due to this situation. Okay, and last question for the day. I have done my post-graduation in human resources. I want to make my career in social welfare. Is sustainable development the right course for me?
Yes, definitely. Nupur, can you add a little bit on this?
Yes. So since you have already worked with, you have already training in human resources, so definitely this is a perfect school, or this is a perfect stream for you to apply. So we have almost 6 to 7 courses. You can go through the syllabus. I would suggest, rather than we suggesting or encouraging you to do something, I suggest you should go through our website, go through our brochures and PowerPoint presentations which are uploaded, go through the syllabus thoroughly, see what interests you, and choose carefully what exactly you want to do depending upon that. So I suggest that you read through website and decide, rather than me suggesting you something.
Right on, ma'am. So, dear student, I hope that answers. We already told you the different fields of MSc that we do offer. So, we request you to make the right choice for yourself based on your passion and your interests. And of course, dear students, I can see so many of you are still asking me if there is any entrance exam for any of these courses. And the answer is no. Yes, you are in luck. There is no entrance exam for any of these courses, dear students. All you have to do is share your mark sheets in the application process along with your statement of purpose in the admissions application process, and we will be guiding you further on the same. You do not have to worry about any other entrance exams. All right, we are completely out of time for today's webinar. I hope we answered all the questions that we had. Thank you so much, dear students and esteemed panelists and faculty members, for joining us for today's webinar. And we will be launching our student feedback poll. But before that, I do want to remind you again, admissions and applications are currently open. So dear students, go on, spend some time today surfing online, check out admissions.mitwpu.edu.in and make very conscious and informed choices as to your program of interest and send in your applications to us at admissions.mitwpu.edu.in. We also want to let you know that this webinar is going to be posted on YouTube in a few days' time. So you can look forward to all this information that was shared today. All you need to do is check out MIT World Peace University official YouTube page. Come back to us in a few days' time and you should find this webinar posted there. All right, ending this off with the student poll because we really value your feedback and we do want to know what you thought of it so that we can come back to you with even more information on the same. And go ahead and please vote in and share your feedback with us for today's webinar. I can see that lots of you are sending in your votes, dear students. 55% of you have voted. Just waiting for the few of you to finish the voting. All right, thank you so much for joining us and we will get in touch with you very soon. In the meantime, everybody stay home and stay safe. Thank you.